I'm letting.
Is Jan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. Look at it.
Someone's getting in the bag and. It's right important. It's really important.
Yeah. Well, this on the front chart.
Like, remember. That's so big. It's everything. Okay.
I thought that was like, he didn't know, it's. Good. Will be better.
That's right.
You gotta, I don't know, go to.
With Greg. Absolutely. First, it's not.
So, yeah, it's- We looking for a vegan. See that. It was.
14.
Yeah. Pretty good. I've been there.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say. Get a cold. That's big difference. Oh, yeah. Go to the service.
No.
Yes. But, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it is 7 o'clock, and President Wolter is absent this evening, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with Section 19.83 and 19.84 Wisconsin statutes in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. And I guess with that, it would be appropriate to entertain a motion for a president pro tem.
Make a motion for Rick Miller to be president pro tem.
Second.
Second.
So second, I believe trustee Warren was first one in. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then trustee Miller.
All right, with that, we'll move on to roll call, and all members are present with the exception of trustee Baum and President Walter, and they are excused. With that, let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, we'll move on to President's Report. I just want to mention a couple things. First off, I want to thank the Park and Rec Department for the 4th of July celebration. They did a great job at organizing the parade and also the events at the park. And they couldn't have done it with all the volunteers. And I know a lot of the trustees and President Walter volunteered. So thanks for that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we have another historic property that's going to get a plaque presentation, and that's going to occur on Sunday, July 21st. So this Sunday upcoming at 5 p.m. And the house is located on Pilgrim Road, and it's an old farmhouse south of Donges Bay. But so between Donges Bay and County Line, the address is West 156 North 10081 Pilgrim Road. And we invite everyone there. It's open to the public. We're going to present the plaque to the Schusters who have lived there for many generations. With that, is there any other announcements? Well, first off, we'll go to trustee Kaminsky for Public Works.
Public Works will meet in this room at 5:30 p.m. on August 7th, which is a Wednesday.
And I'll take GGF, and GGF is the next meeting is August 19th at 5:30 p.m. And Public Safety.
Public Safety will meet in this room August 5th, Monday at 6 p.m.
August 5th, Monday. All right, thank you. Is there any other announcements? Yes, trustee Cutts.
Library Board will meet at the library on July 24th, 6 p.m.
All right, thank you. Yeah, trustee Jan Miller.
We have a senior advisory meeting at the senior center this Thursday at 1 p.m. Is it 1:30? 1:30 p.m. Correction.
All right, thank you. Anything else? If not, we'll move to citizen input. Please take your yellow slip, bring it up to the deputy clerk, and present at the podium. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Wait. Hit the button.
There we go. Sarah Larson, Butternut Road. Couple items. On the consent agenda, I'm asking that you remove the contract. It is actually the 5-year capital improvement plan, so you could ask some questions on that. There's a line item referenced as being Old Farm Parallel Force Main under the wastewater section with a cost of 5.1 million. I'm curious, when I went to the listening session on the Division Road project, There was an express statement about that station, whatever that is, at the corner of Old Farm Road and Division that then feeds over to Donjas Bay and that requiring work. I'm wondering if this is that work, and then should that be something that should be disclosed to those folks that are considering the Division Road expansion to know that the ticket is really more like 8 million instead of 3 million? And then also, how is that going to be paid for? Another question, the contract for the impact fee studies appeared on GGF as well as this agenda, and there was no background in the packet. I would think that you would want to see the rubric that is used when comparing these sources and trying to figure out which is the best to go with. Sometimes the price isn't always the best option, and so I just would encourage that future agendas include a complete background with them. The TID presentation at the last meeting certainly was questionable, raised a whole lot of questions actually. And I guess I'm wondering, is the rush so you guys can try and get this to be a done deal before the October 1st change to Act 12 or Act 13, whatever it is, to try and make it under that wire? And then again, I'm requesting the return of the $1,400 conditional use permit to Greg Kay for the Grosnick property debacle. An RFP for legal services to be on the next board agenda. We have an obligation to the community to be reviewing all services, and I don't believe that contract or agreement has been reviewed in a very long time, and I think we could probably find someone who would serve our community a little better than that. And also response time on open records requests. I had placed 3 requests at the end of April, and they have not been fulfilled as of yet. And in the statute, there is a reasonableness of response time, and I think we are now at that point of no longer reasonable. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Thank you. Tom Barney, Old Farm Road in Germantown. I am not here to complain to anybody, so you can rest easy. Kiwanis is hosting a Taste of Germantown on Thursday, July 25th from 5 to 9 p.m. I invite everyone out to Fireman's Park for music, games, food, and of course some drinks. Trustees, I sent each of you an invite. Kiwanis would love to get your help around the park, whether it's bartending or helping at some of the games areas, whatever it might be. We'll find a space for you if you want to help us. So please consider signing up. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. It's a Thursday, right? Yeah. Thursday the 25th? Right. Great. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Melanie Smythe, N140W17938 Cedar Lane. I just wanted to let you know that the Saturday afternoon 50th anniversary of the Historical Society was a delightful afternoon at the Dinesville Park. It wasn't hugely attended, but there were plenty of people there, and it was fun, even though it was kind of sticky and warm. But good polka music if you like polka. It was fun and very pleasant. My question is also about the capital improvement plan, and in terms of how is it going to be integrated into the budgeting process? I mean, now that we have this and can start looking at prioritizing things and figuring out where this $99,000 plus are going to come, $1 million are going to come from, you know, in order to be able to manage revenues, pay for all of the services that we expect, and also sunset some of the TIDs so that we can have revenue that will actually go towards some of these things that need to be paid for. So I'm asking for an explanation about how we integrate this into the budgeting discussion and evaluation of TIDs and all the other things that go into the budget process. Since this is kind of a brave new world with the budget, since we're doing it a little bit earlier than usual, and I commend you all for that. Oh, I know a lot of work went into moving things up, and the finance department did quite a lot of work, and so did the DPW people, and all of the other departments who put time and effort into this capital improvement plan. It's tremendous. We asked for this during the 2050 process. I'm glad it's here now. So we should use this information. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Good evening, Scott Heffley, W159 and 10514 Old Farm, Germantown. Just a few comments or suggestion. First suggestion, I'm hoping or something, maybe you can, I'm sorry that President Walters isn't here, but I would hope the village is planning on doing something potentially for the late Chief Hale. He meant a lot to this village. We would not have Neighborhoods Against Crime or K-9 unit without him. He was a key person in that and many other things, and gave thousands of hours of volunteer time. So if there was a time to honor an individual, this would be that time. And I hope most of you were able to go to the visitation. The police honor guard was there, and it was quite an experience. But that was my comment. And I brought some of these comments up at GGF. So for the people that were there, some of these will be repeated. You know, again, July 30th, extremely late for an audit. You know, we heard it was late before because we were doing 2 audits, 3 audits, whatever audits. We are doing 1 audit. This would not pass in the private sector. My wife is a controller. You don't get 6 months to do your audit, or you don't have a job. So I'm asking next year to get this done early, and there's no reason. Baker Tilly doesn't say you have to wait. You tell them when you're ready and they come in. How do I know? I have a client that retired from Baker Tilly, was an auditor for 30 years, and that's what they told me. So don't listen, you know, you can do it if you want to. It's all if you want to. CIP is great. Thanks to Matt and the team that did that. What are we seeing? I reviewed the public works. I wasn't here. Pretty scary numbers, big numbers, huge numbers. Can we borrow our way out of it? No. Can we tit our way out of it? No. What are we really going to do to put this village ahead? And we need revenues, and we need to have a real discussion, real conversation on real issues about what it takes to run this village. And I don't know that we've had that in a while. With all due respect to you, we haven't had that reason. You know, what is really going on here? So I'm hoping there's a lot of budget questions and things going on, and that you all are very involved in that. We're already over 100 million borrowed right now in the village, about 111 million. We're looking at borrowing another 80, 90 million, 200 million within 5 more years. That's a big number. I'm sorry, even Rick, you know, that's a big number. We don't have money like big businesses do. Zero-based budgeting, passed out an article from Jim Healy, next door neighbor. He builds their budget based on zero-based budgeting, and then uses a hybrid model to go back and see how does it fit in. We really need to question everything and find the 50 grand here and 80 grand there. Trustee Peepers brought that up before. We can find little things that add up to big things. The 2050 comprehensive plan is a little ridiculous to me because it almost looks like we're trying to develop the whole village by 2030. We have 30 years and we're ramming everything through, and we're trying to do it all in 5 years. And I'll probably go over 10 seconds, but I'm going to have to bring it up again. Tonight's the 5th board meeting in a row. I have asked either of my trustees that represent me in District 1 to call me, and have yet to hear from either one of them. And I'm not sending emails. This is on camera. This is an official. I am asking either Trustee Kaminsky or Trustee Baum to call me. And I can only assume you don't want to talk to me, or why would you call me? Because you have my phone number. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment? All right, if not, we will move on to consent agenda. Board.
Motion to approve consent agenda A through I.
Second.
All right, motion for consent agenda. Any discussion? Trustee Warren. All right. Trustee Jan Miller.
I'd like to pull item B as in boy.
Okay, item B and item E. Is there anything else? If not, we will move on to approve consent agenda item A, C, D, F, G, H, and I. With that, we'll need roll call vote.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Cutts.
Aye.
Trustee Jan Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Hudson.
Aye.
Trustee Pieper.
Aye.
Trustee Rick Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Kaminsky.
All right, item B, 5-year capital improvement plan. I
Thank you.
assume this was going to get pulled.
I would like to thank the DPW, Matt Mortwitt, and all the other department heads for putting this together. It's very comprehensive. With that said, I believe this requires a full discussion and not be smushed into the consent agenda. I mean, this is something we could spend an hour on. So I'd like to move that we take this item and put it on the next village board meeting, 8/5/24 at 7 PM.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to move item B to the next board meeting. Any discussion? That actually makes sense to me. There is a lot of discussion for this. We did have it at Public Works, but the full board should review this and get some input from our Public Works Director as well. So anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. With that, we'll move on to item E, purchase of new Germantown Fire Department ambulance. Trustee Warren.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. The question I have on that is that the quoted amount is $389,877. And then we're adding $10,123 for unforeseen expenses. So it's the unforeseen expenses that I have a problem with, is $10,123. So I'd like to have an explanation on that.
Sure. So some of that is going to be just the cost of equipment. Because we're not purchasing the equipment for about 3 years, that's going to be about the 2.5 years is the delivery estimate. We're anticipating a lot of the equipment cost going up. For example, the radio that we have 2 of in our ambulance, each one is about $10,000. The cords for those radios are about $1,500 a piece. And every piece of equipment that goes along with that, that's where those unforeseen expenses are going to come into play. And having that pre-approved amount, we wouldn't have to come back to the board then and ask for additional funding for that. Additionally, there's going to be more equipment. The larger pieces of equipment we did leave out of this quote. The budgeted amount was $515,000, which I anticipate will come very close to. Our cot, for example, is $45,000. The lifting system to put the cot into the ambulance is about another $40,000. And those are probably the 2 largest pieces that we're going to need additionally yet. And then our monitor is about $20,000. But the unforeseen expenses is just those costs that we're anticipating on going up over the next 2.5 years before we're able to purchase them.
So what I'm hearing is that these unforeseen expenses are seen expenses.
Sure, yeah, sure.
And that would be helpful on the breakout here, instead of doing a lump sum unforeseen. Right away, that's a red flag for me.
Okay.
And if it could be broken out like you said, then it would make sense to me and others who are reviewing this. So
certainly, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your input.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the purchase of the new Germantown Fire Department ambulance. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Cutts.
Aye.
Trustee Jan Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Hudson.
Aye.
Trustee Pieper.
Aye.
Trustee Rick Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Kaminsky.
Aye.
All right, with that, that completes all the consent agenda. We'll move on to new business. Item A, agreement with Command Central for the rental of election tabulator machines for the August and November elections.
I'll second.
All right, a motion to approve. Any discussion? And before there's discussion, I will mention that this came through General Government and Finance this evening prior to this meeting and was approved unanimously. Any other questions? If not, this is purchase, huh? So roll call vote.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Cutts.
Aye.
Trustee Jan Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Hudson.
Aye.
Trustee Pieper.
Aye.
Trustee Rick Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Kaminsky.
I want to correct something. It's not a purchase, it's a rental, but it is money. So, okay, motion carries. Thank you. Item B, retention bonus for communication officer. This again went through General Government and Finance tonight. If you need more information, Chief Snow is here. All right, Trustee Pieper.
I just want to mention this went through Public Works and was approved unanimously.
Public Safety.
Yeah, sorry, Public Safety.
Trustee Warren.
Just a comment on this action item, the summary. There's no information on here. As far as who is it submitted by, summary explanation, for example, that this has been through Public Safety and approved already. So that information would have been helpful on our summary sheet here. So in the future, let's try to make sure those are complete.
You mean that it went through two committees and that, yeah.
Yeah, it would help, that background information. Yeah, I believe that's the purpose of these summary sheets.
If I could, and apologize on that one, the attachments did not come through. There were reports for both the Public Safety Committee and the General Government and Finance Committee, and those did not make their way through and civic clerk to be attached to the agenda. So apologize about that, and we'll try to look for that and make sure it doesn't happen again in the future.
So Chief, because of that, can you just give a brief synopsis of what we're looking at here?
Yeah, I'm just trying to jump back into, so you don't have the total amount of the request, or you do have that?
Blank sheet. Here's your chance to increase your budget.
It was in the GGF, but it's not in.
Yep. So as you know, we started the transition process to county dispatch in 2024. That has placed a significant burden on our dispatchers. What we were doing with 8 dispatchers, we're now doing now we're down to 5. We have one that moved to the clerical spot that can fill in, so we can use 6 of them. We have some part-timers that are trying to do that. But a lot of extra hours, a lot of working on days off. And Administrator Krecklo had met with Washington County. We worked together to come up with a retention bonus that acknowledges the burden placed on them while making the effort to retain our very valuable employees. So what it came out to for the 6 dispatchers that we are currently looking at,
12,200.
12,200 total divided between 6 dispatchers. Those aren't the same for all of them. There's slight differences based on hours worked and whether or not they trained one of the new dispatchers. But
yeah, I can actually. Idea.
so this, in meeting with Washington County, they did agree to finance the bonuses moving forward. This is the first one we're requesting, but we're not, even close to being through the transition process. That's going to go into next year. So we'll be coming forward with more of these requests, but we wanted to get something out to our communications officers now.
We're going to try to get it up on the TVs.
Just a minute here.
Where's that money coming from?
Washington County, I'm not sure exactly, how they're financing it, but they.
So future, you had mentioned there might be future bonuses. as we're moving forward? Would that be Washington County again, providing that money?
That is correct.
Well,
yes.
where, trustee Warren, where the number is coming from is it's a hourly bonus per person. It's so much per hour. I think it's $4 an hour.
Yeah, $4 an hour, and if they trained, it was $5 per hour.
Right.
So this is March 1st through June 1st is the time period that we're looking at for this particular bonus.
So it varies by officer.
Correct.
Trustee Hudson.
What's the average hourly wage, please?
Our top wage is just under $30 per hour. Of the dispatchers under consideration, the lowest paid would be Justin McCleary
Sorry, it's a little
at
hard.
Guess scroll down a little bit.
26 something per hour.
So maybe I'm not understanding. We're not giving them a $4 per hour worked bonus, are we?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is.
But it's paid by Washington County. Because they're training.
And we're really looking at this as more of a retention incentive than anything else. Because we do need the bulk of these to stay in Germantown. We're looking at a number of them to fill clerical positions down the road.
So really, just to summarize, it's, you know, for them to stay on during this transition, it's an additional $4 or $5 per hour if it's training, for them to be retained while we're doing this transition.
Correct.
And it is funded by Washington County. It's not out of our general fund.
That's correct.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the retention bonus for the communication officers.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion? Probably do a roll call vote for this too.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Cutts.
Aye.
Trustee Jan Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Hudson.
No.
Trustee Pieper.
Aye.
Trustee Rick Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Kaminsky.
Aye.
Motion carries. Great, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Item C, contract for completion of impact fee studies. This, we will move on to Administrator Krecklo, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. The village board earlier this year gave a directive to staff to work on an update of the impact fee studies that the village has for its existing impact fees. The water utility, library, police, fire, parks and rec, and then also a sewer connection fee. We went out for an RFP earlier this year. Sent it out to 12 different firms that provide this type of service within the Wisconsin area. We received four responses back from Baker Tilly, Ehlers, Ruckert and Milky, and McMahon, ranging in price from $39,500 to $100,000. There was a panel, including myself, the finance director, public works director, police chief, and fire chief, who scored the proposals on a variety of criteria, including price, but price was only one of the, I believe it was 5 factors. And came out to the conclusion to recommend award to Ehlers. One other comment that I'll make is after we completed the scoring process and we did have the question, I think, that frequently comes up when there is as much of a range in the prices as we saw in this one, if Ehlers would be able to do the work. Had a follow-up conversation with the project manager from Ehlers to kind of question on why they were able to do it at so much of a lower price. There were several factors that went into that. One, they've already done quite a bit of work on our sewer and water utilities that it provides a foundation for some of the impact fee analysis that needs to be done. So I think that provides some efficiencies for them. Secondly, the individual who would be performing this work, actually in the early 2000s, worked for Ruckert and Milky and did the original impact fee studies for the Village of Germantown. So he had a fair amount of background that I think will create some efficiency. So we're confident that they can complete the work on schedule and within the price that they quoted for this project.
This also came through GGF tonight and was approved unanimous. So with that, I need a motion.
I'll move to approve the contract for completion of impact fee studies by Ellers for $39,500.
Second.
All right, a motion to approve. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Cutts.
Aye.
Trustee Jan Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Hudson.
No,
Trustee Pieper.
No.
Trustee Rick Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Kaminsky.
1, 2, 3, 4. Motion carries 6-2. Okay, I can do math.
Aye.
All right, we'll move on to our closed session items. Item D, Germantown Police Union Contract Negotiations. The village board may convene in the closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, paragraph 1, subparagraph E, for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, and then may reconvene into open session to take such action as it deems appropriate. And item E, administrator setting 2024 performance goals update. The village board may enter into closed session per Wisconsin statute 19.85, paragraph 1, subparagraph C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance of evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and then may reconvene into open session to take such action as it deems appropriate.
Motion to go into closed session for new business item D and E with the following people here: the administrator, the police chief, the board, and the clerk can go?
Clerk can go home.
Clerk can go. All right. And then for item E, oh, you said item E already.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we have a second from trustee Warren. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I don't have the gavel, so we'll go into closed session.